This segment brought to you by Kansas Wheat. Learn more at rediscoverwheat.org.
So Engage Cuba is a bipartisan coalition of private sector companies and organizations led by really the private sector who want to see a new relationship with Cuba. They believe that after 55 years of a policy of the embargo that hasn't worked, it's time to try something new. So we advocate for lifting the travel ban and lifting trade restrictions on Cuba. We've been blessed, we're based in Washington, D.C., and we've been launching state councils across the country. This is our 14th state council here. We're thrilled to be in Kansas for this. And what the idea behind this is to show members of Congress in the Hill that the broad support, the diverse type of support that is out there for a change in policy. You know, we travel all over the country for this, and I think Kansas is a perfect example. You come here and you see people from all over the state, all walks of life, all types of perspectives, political perspectives. Everyone realizes the importance of trade, the importance of building relationships with other people. It's for mutual benefit. And so I think we've seen this. We're thrilled to have such strong leadership, and we're very thankful for the Kansas Wheat Association and others who are joining and leading this effort with us to see new relationships to the benefit of both Kansas and Cuba.
The conditions that are in place today for trade with the agribusiness sector are onerous for Cuba. We have to pay in cash, we have to pay in advance, we have no access to credit for that trade. There are a lot of limitations with the use of the US dollar in the international transaction to pay for the payment. There are no two-way trade between our two countries, so there are a lot of difficulties in order to have a normal trade relationship.
This really is the critical issue for agriculture today. Cuba imports $2 billion worth a year of agriculture, and less than 10% of that now is from the United States, even though, if you look at the Caribbean, we have 60 to 80% market share across the Caribbean. Cuba's 90 miles away. It's even closer than most of our other trading partners, and they're buying all the things that we're selling and making here in the United States. So there's a natural market. Credit is the single issue, and there is a piece of legislation in Congress that would fix that. And so if you think about just how common sense this is, we're not saying it's no U.S. government-backed credit. So we're not even talking about an EXIM or a USDA or any of these. We're talking about private financing from a financial institution. And we're not talking about any sort of U.S. taxpayer hook for this. So, this is a farmer's risk, an agribusiness's risk. They decide their business decisions just like they do for every other place around the world. We're just saying, give these guys a chance. Give our farmers a chance to be able to compete and sell. And so the bill has passed the Senate. It passed in the Senate Appropriations Committee. And we just had a hearing on it in the House Agriculture Committee last week by Chairman Conaway. The bill is sponsored by Congressman Crawford and Congressman Poe from Arkansas and Texas. And we are in the final stages of hopefully getting it passed in this lame duck session. The House has been the holdup. We are right around a little over 50% of the House now supports it. So we're just hoping that leadership will let it out in this lame duck session, and we're optimistic that they will.
There are a lot of opportunity for Cuba in this market. It's a closed market in terms of reduction of the freight transportation. There are products that have the quality that we are looking for, but we cannot buy and pay in cash and in advance with these onerous conditions. So there are a clear affectation for the business sector here in the United States, but it's clear the damage to the Cuban people, to the Cuban population that is facing a lot of hardship because of these economic restrictions that we are still facing from the U.S. government.
For us, it's really important that we're building both a short-term relationship in terms of working on Congress and making sure that those laws change, but then also building a relationship amongst each other and with our partners in Cuba. Because, as everyone knows here in Kansas, you can't do trade unless you have a working relationship and you understand the culture, you understand your buyer's needs and interests. And so one of the things we're doing, we're really thrilled to have the Minister Counselor from the Embassy of Cuba here, as well as 3 Cuban millers who are going to be joining in Kansas this week, to start to further build those relationships so that when we do get this credit, which we are optimistic that we will, that we don't have to sit around, we're not waiting. We're working now for the future.
First, I have to express my appreciation to the organizing of this trip for having everything very well organized. We have a Cuban team arriving today for having a change. This is part of this effort in order to have a more open and dynamic relationship in in the area of agriculture between the two countries.
We're working now so that when those opportunities come, we're able to sell immediately, and sell as quickly as possible. And so we also do trips to Cuba, for delegations, for commodity groups, but also for private citizens who want to go and start to build those types of relationships. And so we're trying to make this a two-way relationship. Also, on bringing Cubans here to see what that's like, and I think Kansas Sweet is a perfect example of leadership on that. And then also bringing Americans to Cuba so they can see what the life is like in Cuba, what the interests are, and what the perspective may be.